let's talk about Battlefield 1. I mean, Battlefield 1, 2, Battlefield 5, whatever. It's all the same thing at this point. Battlefield 5 is essentially a reskin of Battlefield 1, but I'm going to talk about all that and more in this video. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So today I wanted to make a video and essentially break down my thoughts and opinions on Battlefield 5. And judging by the title, you can assume that it's not very good. And I will break it all down and I will explain in as much detail as I possibly can. Though I have to disclaim ahead of time, it is overwhelmingly negative. I am very much bitter about this game and I am very much frustrated with where it's at this current point on release. Right now is the 24th of November, and I believe the game was released on the 20th or the 21st. I might be wrong, but I bought the game on release and immediately started getting into everything. And at first, I thought it was okay, so obviously you run into the whole SJW propaganda, which this game is guilty of the first degree of SJW propaganda. No matter where you stand politically, you cannot deny this. So first of all, the protagonist in the main campaign, which is a joke, it's like 3 hours to 4 hours long from what I read on Metacritic, is a female protagonist in a World War II video game. Okay. This female protagonist is portrayed as a hero who kills many Germans. Now, in this game, you can't say Nazis. Matter of fact, in a multiplayer, you physically cannot say the word Nazi or any other different way of spelling it that is pronounced Nazi. It is chat restricted. It shows up the little asterisks and it blocks what you're trying to say. So that's okay. Whatever. I can get past that. There's no Nazis in the campaign. There's no Russians in the campaign. It is the British versus the big bad Germans, and that's all that you see. So that's all right. Whatever. That's annoying. You can tell that they're only doing it to select audience because the vocal minority will autistic screech at the idea that they're not getting what they want from a video game. Whatever. I can get past all of that. The game itself, after all, is beautiful. Like I said, it's essentially a Battlefield 1 reskin. You can tell that they didn't put very much effort into upgrading the engine since Battlefield 1, which was 3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And to be honest, I don't think they really needed to. I mean, Battlefield 1 was a beautiful game. Battlefield 5, likewise, beautiful game. Foliage is beautiful. You can adjust everything. You can literally change every graphical setting you can think of. So I like it in that regard. So I'm sure it'll function well on a low-end PC. I personally have a higher-end PC. I have a 1080 Ti and a i7 processor. So I rock 60 FPS on Ultra, no problem. I can't speak for other people, but that argument for me is fine. It works out fine. Graphically, it's good. Everything is pretty smooth. There's a bit of stuttering here and there, but I think that's kind of to be expected. But that's about where my positive opinions of this game end, to be honest. And it's depressing. It's sad to say that because I paid $60 on release for a game that I expected to be okay. And I have to say this. I actually was unaware that Battlefield 5 was as left-leaning, I guess I should say. Like, I didn't know that there was as much propaganda in it when I bought it. I just had heard that there was the complaint of the developer who was talking some shit, you don't like it, don't buy it kind of deal. Quality marketing from the tolerant left. But I didn't know much about it, and I was just taking it at face value with a grain of salt. Said, okay, fine, I'll give the game a shot, no problem. And boy, was I disappointed. So there is a just cornucopia of bugs that you run into in this game, which you can make the argument, yes, it is a new release, it is just out. Battlefield games are historically a bit buggy on release, Battlefield 4 being a great example of that. But Battlefield 4 ended up being a really great game, and I would argue one of the best Battlefield games to date. So where is my problem with this? Well, my problem with this is that it is essentially a Battlefield 1 reskin with the same bugs that Battlefield 1 had, plus more, on release of a $60 game. Some people paid upwards of... I know that there's special legacy whatever content, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you buy this, you get a little memorabilia of a SJW holding a rifle bobblehead, some bullshit like that. Anyways, people pay good money for this, for a game from one of the most massive video game companies in the world, and it is bug-ridden. So just to name a few, I have played this game, I want to say I've put about 6-7 hours in. So not a ton, but enough to understand the basic mechanics of the game. Plus I've played Battlefield titles in the past. You glitch through walls often. Very often. Every game. You cannot avoid it. You run up against the wall, you go to turn a corner, you glitch through the wall, and you rubber band back. You jump off a ledge. You fall, you land, you fall through the earth, rubber band back. You catch your feet on everything. Everything. Everything is an obstacle. The vaulting mechanic is suspect at best. And the big one that bothers me is when you die around corners. Server lag right now is atrocious. Even if you have, like, I'm in general sitting around 40 to 60 ping, which is playable, very much playable in my opinion. And you cannot get around a corner without dying. There is always somebody whose bullets can travel. And I don't even want to talk about the gameplay. It is objectively the worst Battlefield gameplay I have ever experienced. Just to name a few, you say you want to spawn on point C. You click C, you hit deploy. Okay. Oh, wait, what? You respawn halfway between C and B? I wonder why that is. It's like they set the spawn points a quarter mile in-game off to the side for seemingly no reason. Even if there's not even really anybody fighting in C, you still spawn way off to the side. I don't know if that's just a small tweak that they could make, but that's a little gripe I have. It's annoying, you know? Because this game, the maps are huge. So when you have to run and run and run and run, and then they just kind of arbitrarily throw in spawn points that make you run way more, it's like, it's unnecessary. So another one that I've ran into, and this is a UI issue, is that you click on your squad mate to spawn, they get into a battle, and you can't spawn on them anymore, right? Like, that's normal. They leave combat, you still can't spawn on them. But if you click off and you click on some other deploy point and then you re-click on them, then it lets you deploy on them. Very annoying. Fix, please. Like, these are little things that they shouldn't happen, but they do happen. It's just unacceptable. It's quality control at its worst, in my opinion. Medics in the game are worthless. Let's be honest. Yes, you might be a good medic. That's fine. But in my experience, if I get downed, there is a 5% chance I get a medic, even if there is medics near me and there is no enemies in the nearby vicinity. I'm sure that's a personal thing. Like, that depends on the person. That's fine. But in my experience, medics are worthless. Reviving your squad mates is worthless. Nobody does that shit. And overall, just a very frustrating mechanic, which brings me to the goddamn res mechanic. It is atrocious. You get shot. And I see there's so many things that I can just like go on and on and on about. You die instantly in this game from things that should not kill you. I will be running through a field, ding, dead. What killed me? Light machine gun. I look, the dude is up on a bridge a quarter mile away from me, sniping with a machine gun. Meanwhile, bolt action rifles are ass. They are ass in this game. They have been nerfed so hard to the point where you cannot play with them because they are so bad. And if you can, good on you. But I can't. I certainly can't. And you don't see very many people doing it. Assault is by far the most used class. And for good reason. You can snipe with it. But I digress. You get downed. And you just lay there and you yell. Nobody can res you except for squad mates and medics. Which there's not that many of. And your squad mates never res you anyways because it takes too long. Okay. So what do? You literally sit there and wait to die. Or you can hold down right click or I don't know what the button is on the key on the console, but you hold down right click so you die faster, and you just wait to die. So it wastes 3, 4, 5 seconds every single time you die. And throughout a game, that's like 2 minutes, assuming you die a lot like me. That's like 2 minutes of your time just wasted because there's a stupid ass mechanic that is in practice, an idea on paper. It sounds like a good mechanic. In practice, not implemented well, needs reworked, certainly. Flat guns in the game are overpowered as fuck. You get in a plane, you are getting shot down instantly. Before you even get on the map, you are getting shot down. Bombers are good, but they're hard to aim. That's fine. That's a practice thing, whatever. But flat guns take you down in like 3 shots, and people can essentially spawn in them. That, I have a gripe with that in the air, because flying in this game is very fun, very rewarding when you get kills, especially with bombers. But flat guns are just such a pain in my ass. But that might just be me. I might just be ass at flying, you know. That's fine. Whatever. Force spawn at the beginning of rounds grinds my gears very bad. So you're in the pregame lobby and you're trying to customize your gun. Say you leveled up and you unlock the next assault rifle and you're trying to get it on. You're trying to equip it and customize it, get your sights all set up. Oh, sorry, can't finish it. DICE is going to spawn you into the game before it starts because you don't have a choice. You have to spawn in. What is that? Who decided that was a good mechanic? It's not. Nobody wants to be forced to spawn in. Half the time, you want to edit your guns and stuff in between rounds. You get like 1 minute, which is fine. Like that's a decent amount of time. But then they just suck you in. They don't even tell you. Like there's no, it doesn't say, oh, like you will be spawned. At least put a disclaimer. At least say you will be spawned in so many seconds. That's an easy fix. There's also a really bad thing in this game with delay. And not even delay, like your actions just get canceled. So, for example, say I go to throw a grenade. I cock the grenade. I throw the grenade. Nothing happens. I still have a grenade in my inventory. And no grenade explodes. Don't know what that's all about. Pull it back again. Throw it. Oh, it works. Imagine that. Like, what is this? What is that? And it happens all the time with crouching as well. You go to crouch, and I'm not even talking toggle crouch. I'm talking you hit X, you crouch, and then you just stand back up. You lay prone with Z, you just stand back up. I don't get it. I don't understand that. And then there's also this annoying thing that happens, and I don't know if it's just me, but say I'm looking out a window, I strafe a little bit to the side to try to get a better view, and my character just slowly strafes back in the opposite direction. What is that about? I don't know, but it grinds my gears. I just want to be able to camp a window like every other asshole in this game and snipe people with my assault rifle. You know, that's the meta right now, so I'm trying to do it. And I can't do it because I get teleported backwards whenever I try to walk side to side. I don't know. I don't get it. But whatever. Corner peeking in this game is very suspect. It does not work. And I don't know if it's me, but it does not work. I remember in previous titles, it's a cool idea, and I think that it is a novel idea, and I like it. I think that the idea of being able to toggle it, like in Siege or PUBG maybe, I like that. But Battlefield has it kind of set up so it's an automatic thing, and I think you actually can toggle that setting, but I might be wrong. But regardless, it doesn't work. You try to do it, it just like flips over real quick and then back to the side, and I'll show a clip of that. It doesn't work. You're supposed to zoom in around a corner, and you lean a little bit, and then you'll stay leaned until you move back away from that corner. It doesn't work. At least for me, it doesn't. I don't know. It seems like something that should be there, and it worked well when it did work, but now it just doesn't work at all. So, I don't know. And, of course, when you go to leave a game, I don't know what it is, because like I said, I have a high-end PC. It does not log out of the game. It takes so long. From hitting quit game to getting into the main lobby, the main front screen, it takes 30 to 45 seconds. That's obnoxious. Most of the time, whenever I try to get out of the game, I just Alt F4 or I, Alt Tab out and I right click it in my tray and exit out of it, just because I can't be bothered to wait to quit a game. Like, especially because you think about it, you're probably rage quitting a lot of the time anyways, because this game is so fucking frustrating with all the bugs. Whatever. Okay? So, long story short, I tried to return this trash can game. and I saw an article. I Googled it to find out what EA's Origins return policy is. And I got this cute little article from Media Shill Kotaku by Patricia Hernandez saying that Origin does at least one thing better than Steam. And to be fair, this is published in 2013, and I'm not exactly sure when Steam instituted its return policy, but it's trash. Origin's return policy is absolute trash. Matter of fact, you have 24 hours. If you read that article, it does say it. 24 hours. So, Steam's policy is a lot more lenient. And I understand that they don't want to lose money, whatever. But it's dishonest to say you can get a good bearing on a game in 24 hours. 24 hours is for you buy a game by accident and you refund it. Or you buy a video game for your son and you realize that his computer can't run it. That's understandable. 24 hours is not get a game, put 4 or 5 hours into it, realize you don't like it, and return it. That's simply not true. EA's return policy is trash. But enough about EA. Let's talk about the reviews. Because, after all, whenever you go to buy a game, it makes sense to look at reviews, as you should. But when you get on Metacritic and you see the reviews, 75% generally favorable reviews. What? No, that is not true. And when you Google it, that's what Metacritic shows you. It shows you the 75% generally favorable reviews based on 12 critics. Who are these critics, you might ask? Well, Cheat Code Central decided that it was worthwhile to give them an 84. 84% positivity. They're a little bit free future DLC. Like, they mention a couple of things that may be useful, but overall, 84. Did you play the game? 81 from Power Unlimited. Battlefield 5 is already better than its excellent predecessor, even though we'll have to wait for some promised components, which will actually make it a bigger game as well, referring to the DLC announced on day one, which is also absolute bullshit. Softpedia decided an 80 was appropriate. Battlefield 5 changes the way the historical FPS games are told, as it puts the human psyche ahead of glory, fame, and frags, or at least does so until you join a multiplayer match. Brazzy Center said that Battlefield 5 is exactly what you expect from a Battlefield title and nothing more. A mediocre single-player campaign mixed with a solid multiplayer, superior visuals, and sound design. I agree. Problem here is that there's no notable improvements on the previous version. The game is buggy and incomplete. Maybe future updates and DLC will solve everything, but in its current state, Battlefield 5 is just another Battlefield title. 80. 80. Why? Why an 80 for a shit game? You even say you don't like it. 80. Whatever. PSX Sense says 75. Disappointing single-player campaign, rock-solid multiplayer modes. Incorrect, you did not play a multiplayer. What else is new? Nothing much, really, especially since DICE appears to be more happy to keep treading water instead of even trying to raise the bar. I agree. 75%? No. That is higher than you should. Those numbers are inflated. Also, rock-solid multiplayer modes, I do not believe that you actually played the game. PSX Sense, I don't think you guys play multiplayer. So, with all due respect, those reviews are all shit. They're all shit, and I don't think anybody really put quality time into the game. Or they just are being shills for the game to give it better sales because EA is probably giving them a little kickback. And then you get into the real reviews, the ones written by the people who play the game, supposedly. I mean, I assume I felt so compelled to go to Metacritic to create an account specifically to write a review for this game. And yeah, you can tell just by looking at some of these, just to name a few. Horrible game, half-ass game, beta for full price. This game is totally not ready for release. They decided to go with their own imaginative take on World War II. Not a hardcore gamer, not a big fan of the series, but this game is not ready. EA not know real history. It's very bad game. Super User 100. The game is about World War II, no USSR, no Nazi. Lot of bugs, tolerant vomit. Shame on you, EA. It could not be any more true. Battlefield 5 is a bad game. It is a beautiful game, but a bad game. It is full of SJW propaganda. It is full of bugs that are easily fixable if they would just put the time in. It is full of annoying little grievances that I have personally, and I'm sure I'm not alone in. And the return policy is just slick enough that you can't get your money back when you finally do get enough time in to realize that you don't like the game. Metacritic is full of critics. Quote, I say that very, very lightly because it is full of shills. And that's not to say that Metacritic itself is, but the people who were writing those reviews, shame on you. You guys are shills. And I guarantee you, you have not put the time into the game, or you're not even gamers in general. Like, I don't get it. What convinces somebody to think that it's okay to write a review for something that is a bad game? Just say it's a bad game. Because when you don't say that it's a bad game, you let EA and DICE get away with producing this trash, and they don't feel compelled to fix it. The practice tool isn't even available for the first 2 weeks of release. So you can't even practice if you aren't very good at the game. You have to get into the game, suck it up, get shit on, lose for your team, and then maybe you'll be able to get some time in. I don't get it. I really don't get it. EA, shame on you. Shame on DICE. Shame on everybody who has told other people that this game is great. If you give this game a 10 on Metacritic and you genuinely enjoy it, good on you. I didn't. I hate this game. And yeah, I'll come back to it in 6 months or so after a couple of DLC patches are released. I saw that there was a giant announcement for a huge patch coming on December 4th alongside the new DLC that's being released. A DLC being released 2 weeks after. How about you just sell the full game, EA? There's a concept. Maybe gamers wouldn't think that your company is a bunch of bullshit. It blows my mind. EA is hated. Widely hated. But they still do the bullshit that they've been doing. If you don't stand up and make a stand and say that it is unacceptable to run their business the slimy way that they have been, they will continue to do it. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys all have a good day, and, let me know what you're thinking down below. Tell me. I want to have a conversation. Obviously, I'm okay with critiques. I don't have much time in this game compared to other people, I'm sure. I'm only level 15. But I do want to know what other people have to think about the game, because it's a multiplayer game, it's a big game, and I want to know what other people think. So let me know what you think. If you like the video, leave a comment, leave a like on it as well. If you don't like it, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But I put a lot of time and effort into making this video. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to say, and I could not make this video. And my channel's very small. Right now I have 100 subscribers, so not very many people may even see this. But I feel like I'm doing my part by using my voice to get a point across that I feel like is very important. Anyways, this is Chewy Shoot. I'll catch you guys later.